I'm going on an adventure! Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and as you can tell, change of venue because I'm back home for the holidays, and I just got back from seeing the midnight showing of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed The Hobbit. It was a lot of fun, I really enjoyed it. So the basic premise of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey is it follows this hobbit by the name of Bilbo Baggins, who basically likes to keep to himself. He doesn't like to do anything unexpected, and then unexpectedly, the wizard Gandalf approaches him and says, hey, you want to join me in an adventure? He's like, I don't know about that, Gandalf. I really don't like to do anything unexpected. I like where I am. And all of a sudden, these dwarves come and like ravage his house. He's like, okay, now I'm really sure I don't want to go. But then he realized there's more to life than just staying at home. So he does go on this adventure with them to help the dwarves get back what was once theirs that was taken from them by the dragon Smaug, and now we have our journey. Now, as many of you may not know, I'm actually a huge fantasy fan. I love Lord of the Rings. I absolutely adore Game of Thrones. So when I went to go see The Hobbit, I was like, I can't wait to be back in this world, the world of Middle Earth. It's just such a fun and big world and exciting, and that's what I really wanted to see when going into this movie. Yes, I know it's different tonal-wise from the Lord of the Rings, but just being back in Middle Earth and hearing that Hobbit theme and all those musical scores, it was amazing, and it just submerged me back into Middle Earth, and that's really what I wanted to have when I went to go see The Hobbit. So let's talk about the acting in the movie. Martin Freeman does a fantastic job as Bilbo Baggins. He really embodies the character, and I really felt like, yes, this is Bilbo Baggins as he should and could and will ever be. And then we also got Ian McKellen, who plays Gandalf, and what more can I say about him? He's a fantastic actor already, and he really embodies Gandalf. He's that wise old man who can actually just kick your ass if he really wanted to. And then we got Thorin Oakeshield, who I really don't know the actor's name, but he does an awesome job as well. I mean, he's the badass of all the dwarves, you know, he has the, the development, the backstory and all that stuff. And I really want to like his character, and I really did like his character. And also you got the other dwarves. I really don't know a lot about them. I mean, a few of them really stood out to me. This one with like a mustache like this, he really stood out to me. I really liked him, though I really don't know his name. I mean, the few names I got was like Feely, Killy, Going, Noim, Biffa, Boffa, Boffer, Dory, Ori, Nori, so many names. So I don't even know which one's which in this picture. Like, they're all over the place. I think I know one, like the fat guy. I think his name is Boffer, because he's the fat guy. He's the one that kind of stood out of the group, and he didn't really say much either. The cinematography and special effects were handled fantastically in this movie. You got those landscape shots showing all these parts of Middle Earth that just were breathtaking to see, and the special effects too. I mean, there's a lot of CGI more than, in Lord of the Rings, but I mean, it is 2012, of course. They're going to use a little more CGI when trying to tell the story of The Hobbit, but I didn't really mind that too much, and I didn't mind it too much because it was actually good. I mean, when I saw Gollum, man, he really looked like he was there. I'm not kidding. He really looked like he was there. And I really saw Andy Serkis just standing out as Gollum. And speaking, I forgot to mention this, Gollum is fantastic in this movie. Andy Serkis is a phenomenal actor. He really needs props for all of his performances. I mean, him as Caesar and then Gollum, he does a fantastic job. And again, like I said, Gollum, he can be funny, he can be whimsical, but he can be really scary when he wants to be. And he is that. He's all of that in this movie. And I want to mention this before I forget it too. My favorite scene in the movie, the entire movie, the one scene I love the most, Riddles in the Dark. If you guys have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It is my favorite scene in this movie. And I wish it was a little longer, and I wish I heard a little more riddles, but it was a treat to see, and I enjoyed it a lot. And lastly, the writing and directing was solid in this movie. If there's anybody that I put my faith in to do a Hobbit movie, it's Peter Jackson. I think he really has a passion for it. He knows what he's doing, and I was so glad to hear that he was directing it and writing it, and I was actually very shocked that all of the writers for The Lord of the Rings came back to write The Hobbit, and also Guillermo del Toro joined in the writing as well. He was actually supposed to direct it, but he had to drop out for I don't know what reason. But I was just very happy with the direction and the writing. It was solid. And now I want to talk about this one character that a lot of people feel like is very annoying, and that character is Radagast the Brown. Now I heard a lot of YouTube movie critics talk about this character and how he's annoying and the Jar Jar Binks of Middle-earth, and I think that's kind of an unfair statement or comparison as it would be, because he is nothing like Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is 10 times more annoying and has 10 times more screen time than Radagast the Brown. Radagast the Brown is like in the movie for about 7 minutes, and then he's gone. And for the moments that he was there, I actually enjoyed it. I mean, there was like one moment where I kind of didn't like him, but afterwards he just became really cool and I liked his character. Calling him the Jar Jar Binks or even an annoying character is kind of, it's messed up. I don't really think he deserves that recognition. He's a lot better than Jar Jar. He's a lot more useful than Jar Jar, and he's not that annoying than Jar Jar. But sadly, now we get to the few things that I really didn't like about this movie. And the one thing that really stood out to me when watching this movie is the pacing of the movie. It is excruciatingly slow. For the first hour of the movie, it felt like it's been 2 hours because all we were doing was sitting around watching exposition and explanation of backstories and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, they were entertaining. It's just I felt like some scenes could have either been condensed or taken out. And that's the problem with this movie. There are a lot of scenes that easily could have been condensed, easily could have been shortened, or easily could have been taken out. And I felt like they just threw them in to really extend the runtime to make them really long for no real reason. I really would have liked to see more development of the dwarves. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed them. I really liked them. They were fun to watch. But most of them, you know, they were kind of pushed to the side. You really didn't know much about them. And their backstory is either very minuscule or non-existent. So I wanted to relate to these characters. I wanted to attach myself to these characters. Kind of like in Lord of the Rings, you know, when you see the Fellowship, these 9 companions helping Frodo go to Mount Doom to drop the ring into the fire. You know, you get a real understanding of these characters, how they act, what they're like. In this movie, I got an idea of what they're like, but I don't know much about them, and I really would like to know that. And lastly, I didn't get to see this film in HFR, which is high frame rate, the 48 frames per second thing. I only saw it in 24 frames because that's all my theater offered. I wanted to see it in 48 frames because I heard it was actually really cool, but a lot of people felt like it kind of detracted from the experience because it felt very fake and some things really stood out and bothered them. So in a sense, I'm happy I didn't see it in 48 frames, but I really would like to see how it looks in 48 frames. It's a step forward, so to say, in, you know, the movie making process. Maybe some people will like it, others might not, but I probably will see The Hobbit again in 48 frames per second just to see how it looks like. So overall, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey was a fun movie to watch. I really enjoyed being back in Middle-earth. It was such a treat seeing Gandalf and Bilbo and all his friends and all that stuff. And the acting was really good. The action scenes, I forgot to talk about them. The action scenes were actually pretty awesome to watch. In the second half of the movie, they were sweet. Like I said, the cinematography, the musical score, everything was really great about the movie, and I really enjoyed it, like I said. And I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5 stars. It's really worth watching for fans of the Lord of the Rings saga. Really give this one a watch. It's just more of the things that you want. You want to be back in Middle-earth? Here you go. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Did you like it a lot, or did you hate it and find it uninteresting and disappointing? Comment, or shoot. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Did you like it a lot, or did you find it disappointing and you hated it? And let me know, what is your favorite fantasy film? Comment below, let me know. Also, today marks the first day of the 12 days of anime, and my video should be up. Make sure you go check that out, and go check out the other people's first day of the 12 days of anime. Until then, I'm the Black Critic Guy, bridging the gap between movies and anime reviews. Till then, peace, YouTube.